Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's have a quick recap on Route 53 certification questions which are possible on it. So the first question is, what is load balancer in AWS? What is load balancer in AWS? What do we call the service which acts like load balancer in AWS? What is the service ELB? What is the full form of it? Elastic load balancer. Then how can we access this ELB? How can we access this ELB? By using ELB providing DNS URL. How can we access? By using DNS URL. Whatever the DNS URL that is provided by the ELB, by using that we can able to access this elastic load balancer. Now let's move on to another question. The ELB URL is nasty or good? That ELB URL is nasty or good. Since it is not looks like my domain name, it is nasty. It's a nasty URL only. Okay. So who will give you the fancy URL for the nasty URL in AWS? Which service will provide you a fancy URL for this nasty URL? For this nasty URL, which service in AWS will provide you a fancy URL for this nasty URL? What is the service? The service name is Route53. So if anybody asks you, is there any service in AWS where it can provide me fancy URL for this nasty URL? Then what is your answer? Your answer must be Route53. So let's move on with another question. What is Route 53? What is Route 53? This Route 53 is a DNS service in AWS. It is a DNS service in AWS. It's a DNS service provided by AWS. Okay. What does Route 53 does in AWS? What does Route 53 does in AWS? What does this Route 53 does? This Route 53 routes or maps the traffic from where to where? From fancy URL. Let's say my website is btechspark.com. So it just maps this fancy URL to where? Whatever the nasty URL that is provided by what? Elastic load balancer. So ELB DNS, right? So for that URL, this will be mapped. By whom? This Route 53 will map that. Okay. What is 53 in Route 53? What is 53 in Route 53? 53 is nothing but it's a DNS port number. What is that? DNS port number. In Route 53, 53 is a DNS port number. Since DNS port number is 53, AWS provided this service name as Route 53. Okay, let's move on to another question. Next question. Does Route 53 can create records? Does Route 53 can create records? I hope you answered this. The answer is yes. Route 53 can create records. Can I create or purchase a domain name from this Route 53? Can I create or purchase a domain name? Can I create or purchase a domain name from this Route 53 service in AWS? The answer is yes. You can able to create or purchase a domain name from this Route 53 service in AWS. If I request for a website, if I request for a website, to where my request will go at first? If I request a website, if I request a website, to where my request will reach at first? At first, where my request will reach? That means, where means here the question is, to which service? To which service in AWS will my request reach at first? To which service my request will reach? For Route 53. First, my request will reach to Route 53. Okay, let's have another question. To where this Route 53 can forward the request? To where? After this, to where? That means which service? That means which service in AWS? To where this request is forwarded from Route 53. To where this request will be forwarded, or else you can say to where this request will reach from this Route 53. From this Route 53, either it moves to elastic load balancers. Since elastic load balancers are regional, if let's say I created my application in the same region where my user requested, so at that situation, the request will be routed to where my elastic load balancer. Since my website is present there only, so my request will routed to there. Now, to where, let's say my user is requesting from other location. Let's say from US, he is requesting. Let's say I hosted my website at Mumbai region and the user is requesting from USA region. Now, to provide low latency service, I used CloudFront so that users can able to get the low latency response. Now, user in the USA region was first requested to where? To the AWS. First requested to my website. Now my request will go to where at first? It will reach us to Route 53 at first. Then this Route 53 will distribute the traffic globally, right? Yeah. So now the globally, this Route 53 will check for what is the available service which is present in the USA region. Since user is using since we are hosting our website using CloudFront, this Route 53 will transfer the request to where? CloudFront edge location, where? CloudFront edge location. You can say the request is sent to CloudFront edge location. So can I say this is also This is edge locations also regional. Yes, edge locations are regional. In either of the case, the request will go to either elastic load balancer if my website is hosted in the same region. Let's say if my website is not hosted in the same region, to provide low latency, I have used CloudFront. Then where my request will reach at first, my request will reach to Route 53 at first. Then Route 53 will distribute the request to my CloudFront edge location. At that region, whatever the edge location is there, for for that, my request is routed. So let's have another question. Is Route 53 is regional or global? Is Route 53 is regional or global? The question is this. In the previous sentence only, I have spelled a word that this Route 53 will distribute traffic globally. What does this word indicates? This Route 53 is a global service. So I can say this Route 53 is a, since it distributing the traffic across regions, so this is a global service. Globally, it will accept the request and then it will route the traffic among regions. Let's have another question. Which service in AWS which service in AWS where it can access your request? It can access your request globally. So what I said, who access your request globally? The service is Route 53. I told you now, just now I told you this Route 53 will access the request globally. Okay. In which are the services in AWS? Which are the services in, I hope I have already asked this. Yes. So the question is, which are the services in AWS which can access your request and distribute your request regionally? So in regionally, which are the services can distribute your traffic? In regionally, which are the services can distribute your traffic? So regionally, which are the services can distribute your traffic? Which are services in AWS? Let's talk. Which are services in AWS will distribute your traffic regionally? In starting only I mentioned in regionally, which are services in AWS can distribute the traffic? Global distributor. Who is the global distributor of your traffic? That is Route 53. So don't confuse here. I'm spelling traffic. What is traffic for your website? Nothing but requests from the clients. So that we call it as traffic, load traffic, load traffic. So who is the person will distribute traffic globally? Route 53. Who is the persons? Who is the services in AWS will distribute the traffic regionally? Those are elastic load balancer, or you can say CloudFront. These are the two services which can distribute the traffic where regionally. So I hope you answered all these questions. So if you have failed to answer any question, must watch the previous video related to the content so that you can got a realistic idea about how this happened. So I hope you understood and you can able to answer these questions, and these are some of the possible certification questions on elastic load balancer, CloudFront, mainly Route 53. So mainly in this we have seen and recapped the certification questions or knowledge on this Route 53. I hope you understood this video. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye.